Right, Siddharth, stay with us. We're also being joined by Manish Purohit. He's a former ISRO scientist. Welcome to WION, Mr. Purohit. First up, it is a 22.5-hour journey before the splashdown on the coast of California. And this is the first time that the Axiom mission is landing at the coast of California. Talk to us more about that.
Yeah, actually, see, the site of landing and the duration of splashdown, they are driven by different parameters and different conditions. And the most easily approachable landing site or the splashdown site is picked. That is the one thing. See, what is the location of International Space Station when it has been decided that the Crew Dragon will undock, and which will be the most efficient in the terms of energy consumption, fuel availability, and the ease of astronauts that are on board. So these are the few things that govern the decision of the splashdown site and the duration of flight. This whole thing can be done in few hours, maybe 6-7 hours. So you did that. They do mostly in 6 to 7 hours. They just simply come and do a third on the ground. But then it's not that comfortable for the cosmonauts. But SpaceX Dragon takes care of that luxury too.
Right, Mr. Purohit, also, how significant is this mission for India's broader human space flight ambitions?
See, actually, if we look at Axiom-4 and flying of Shubhanshu Shukla on this mission, we can see that there is a clear view, a clear vision of India that we want someone from our space program, our Gaganyatri, as we have named them, to go there and learn about the liftoff, leaving the Earth's atmosphere, getting into the space, understanding the microgravity. Getting trained is something, but living there is totally different. And then understand the peculiarities of coming back, the re-entry. The most typical aspect of the whole space mission is when you again approach the atmosphere from the space for the splashdown. So understanding all these things are surely going to help us when we plan our own Gaganyaan mission.
Right, stay with us, Mr. Purohit. We're also being joined by our correspondent, Siddharth MP. Siddharth, we were talking to our guest about how it's a 22.5-hour journey before the splashdown at the coast of California. Talk to us about that and the nuances going further.
Crew and Dragon have exited the approach.
Our journey is a very significant one, considering that let's talk about some of the most dangerous or rather thrilling parts of this journey. When the re-entry happens, that is when the capsule is dragged back by the Earth's atmosphere and re-enters the denser parts of the Earth's atmosphere, a process called re-entry. What happens is this capsule is traveling at a speed of over 28,000 kilometers per hour. And at that time, the external part of the capsule is also affected by heat and friction. And this friction leads to the capsule's external part being heated up to extremely blazing hot temperatures of 2000 degrees centigrade. So that's the kind of temperature outside, and inside it's going to be 30 degrees centigrade or 40 degrees centigrade, pretty much like ambient temperature anywhere on Earth, right? That's how it's going to be maintained. Outside it's going to be 100-fold hotter, and inside it's going to be normal livable temperature. So that's the one, extremely dangerous part of flying back to Earth from space, a process known as re-entry. So for handling re-entry, there are very special materials coated on the outside of the spacecraft, either ablative tiles, or there are different types of materials that can be used. So these are materials that can either absorb the heat or sort of self-sacrifice themselves to protect the inner layers. So that's how it happens. And thereafter, after this re-entry happens, it's about a 5-6 minute period when there is a plasma buildup, when there is no communication with the craft, where there is a complete blackout. A lot of people would not understand that why there is a blackout, but this is a scientific reason that when there is a plasma buildup, ingoing or outgoing communications are not possible. So for 5-6 minutes, nobody would have a clue about what's going on, especially the astronauts on board and also the people back on Earth. They would not have communications. So it's only after that 5-6 minute period that the craft actually gets to enter the denser layers of the Earth's atmosphere. Then it deploys a series of parachutes to slow itself down. First, there's one parachute, and then there's a series of 4 parachutes that are deployed. And then gradually it slows itself down and then comes and splash lands off the coast of California in this particular case. After splashdown, there's helicopters and ships that will approach. And then, the capsule is recovered. The crew are also recovered. Basic health checks are done. And then they're taken by a helicopter to the nearest facility on land. And then further health checks and quarantine and 1-week rehabilitation goes on. Raisha.
Right, Siddharth. Thank you for joining us here on WION, and thank you, Mr. Purohit, as well, for joining us here on WION. The Axiom-4 mission, it has begun their journey back to Earth. It's going to be a 22.5-hour long journey after they spent 18 days aboard the International Space Station.